welcome to the 206 Podcast. I am your host, Mark Morin, coming to you from Seattle, Washington. This interview is part of my coverage of the 2021 Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival. Today, I'm speaking with director Aimee Long, whose movie A Shot Through the Wall has had a very successful run through film festivals over the last year. Aimee, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for taking the time. Now, first off, Aimee, I feel like this is a very important story. It's also a very relevant story, and it has been for a long time. Unfortunately, this isn't anything new. So for the people watching and listening, what is this movie about? And then where did the idea come from? And why was it important for you to tell this story?
Okay, so this movie is called A Shot Through the Wall, and it's my first feature. And it's about an Asian American cop who killed an innocent Black man in through a wall, basically. And it's inspired by an incident that happened in 2014. So when the incident happened, I was living in New York at the time. And I remember after indictment came down, I went home to California for a weekend. And then during that weekend, I went to this dinner with my family and friends, and then they got into a big debate about whether this man was scapegoated, this Asian American cop who got indicted was scapegoated, or whether we as Asian Americans were just asking for the same white privilege all the white cops has gotten.
Right.
And it really sent me into this, I just really wanted to explore sort of where me as an Asian American woman stands in this spectrum of racism today in America. So that's where the idea came from.
That's very profound. I'm glad you're able to take that opportunity. Now, I did really like how you dug into the mental health aspect of what all of the characters are going through. Is that something you were really mindful of when you were writing the story?
I think so. To me, I was just trying to explore when something tragic like this happened, what's going to happen. Because this is honestly, it wasn't something I was familiar with before I researched for this film. And I tried to put myself in these characters' shoes, and we did a lot of research, me and my producing partner, and then and we were trying to figure out, we wanted to keep it as authentic as possible, and been trying to figure out what happens when something so tragic happens. So yeah.
I know that makes total sense. Yeah. It really seemed apparent that there was a level of detail there with, especially the lead character of what he was going through. I think that authenticity really came through. So, good job on being able to create that. Now, Aimee, you have such an amazing group of actors in your movie. Just to give a couple examples, you have Kenny Liu in the lead role, and then you have Tai Ma, who is like the ultimate dad now in movies. You have Lin Chen, who I'm a big fan of, and then there's legendary TV actor Clifton Davis, just to name a few. So what was the casting process like for this film? And I'm guessing the actors were probably just as interested in being a part of this movie as you were in telling the story.
I think I was very lucky. I got so when I first casted this was back in 2017, and a few years ago. And then this was before Crazy Rich Asians came out, or before they were casting for Crazy Rich Asians. And when we were casting, I think I got very lucky with the casting director, Pat McCorkle. She is sort of a legend in the theater circle in New York.
Oh, wow.
And she really believed in me, believed in the story, and she was very patient with me. We went through hundreds and hundreds of actors, especially trying to find that Asian American family. And we spent 10, 11 months just looking for Kenny, looking for the lead. And then Tai is someone I've always wanted to work with. He is everybody's dad, every Asian American film's dad. And then he was such a joy to work with. And I couldn't believe how lucky I was. It was my first feature. I got to work with him. And then when I come to Davis, and he is such a sweetheart. He came and actually auditioned for me. I thought that was just a dream come true.
Wow.
And he really connected with the story, and he kept telling me, oh, this is from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I was so grateful that he was open to it. And I think he did an incredible job. And Lynn, I was a big fan too. From, my gosh, the title escaped me.
Her movie, I Will Make You Mine, or
I love Will Make You Mine.
yeah.
I was talking about way back when with Alice Wu's film.
Saving Face.
My gosh, yeah, Saving Face.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I was such a fan, and I had her in mind with this role.
Oh wow.
And when we reached out, and when she just sent in audition tapes and everything, I thought, oh, I was so incredibly lucky. So, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So now you had mentioned that this was your first feature film. So what was the biggest challenge for you to get this movie made?
Subject matter was a challenge, I think. So I was working on something else before this. That was going to be my first feature. And then because of casting issues that came up right before we were going to shoot the last film. And then so I got pretty lucky when my executive producers was asking me if I have anything else going on. And I was writing this just as a passion project, just something I was really exploring. And so we start making this film, and shooting in New York in the middle of the summer was quite a challenge as well. But we just have a very small budget, and I really wanted to build that world and give a voice to everybody that's involved. And I didn't want to over simplify this problem. It's such a systemic problem that we have, and I think I really believed in the story, and I really wanted to tell the story that I wanted to tell. But being this is my first feature, I think I got a little more ambitious with my locations and logistics in shooting. But I'm glad it worked out. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would imagine that there's probably new challenges just about every day. So with that in mind, what was the biggest thing that you learned from making this movie that you can say, okay, next time I make a movie, I'm going to remember that above anything else? Like, one thing that sticks in your head.
That ask for more money.
Right.
No, also, consolidate my locations. I think that's a rookie, not a mistake, but if I knew what I know now going into it, I think I would be a little more mindful of that, because I had to produce this as well, and that was a different set of challenge. I think that was a big one. And also because I was doing commercials before this, and to tell myself this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
I think that was really something, I had to learn and realize, oh, right. It's, we were lucky in that we had over 30 shooting days. So,
oh, wow.
So we were, so I was really mindful now. Okay, these are, absolutely the things that I actually need. So.
Oh, great. Thank you. Now, what other directors do you look up to that have an influence on your work?
I really love Ang Lee's films.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's also a representation thing that,
Right.
he is the only, growing up, he is really the only Asian American directors that there is. So I really looked up to him. And growing up, I watched a lot of Asian films. So Wong Kar-wai is a big influence.
Right. I think both of those are probably people that have influenced just about every filmmaker that's out there. So that's two excellent examples. Now, who inspires you that's not a filmmaker?
That's a really good question. A lot of people. My mom, my grandparents, very hardworking immigrants. the work ethic that I learned from them. I think, it's funny. We have just in the family, we keep saying monkey see, monkey do. So, so I think, I learned a lot from them, and they
Right.
really influenced me in the fact of, you just have to keep working at it and be persistent.
Absolutely. Thank you. Now, again, we're talking about your movie being in the Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival right now. So what has the film festival experience been like for you? Not just this film festival, but over the last year with everything that's gone on with the pandemic and virtual screenings. And now we're starting to get into a situation where you can actually go to the film festivals. What's the last year been like for you experiencing all of that?
It's really interesting, actually, because so we finished this film, we finished the mix and everything right before the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
So we technically premiered at Bentonville Film Festival, which was in August 2020, which is during the pandemic, and so everything was virtual. And it was really it was just such a mixed bag of emotions, because I really wanted to see this movie, especially a movie like this. I wanted to see it with the audience.
Right.
I wanted to see the audience reaction and things like that. We had a couple of test screenings right before the pandemics, which actually helped us a lot. And it was really exciting and interesting to see people's reactions to the subject matter and to what I was trying to say with the film. And so once the film sort of came out at film festivals, I didn't get to do that. Right. And I think it's not until recently, I think this is the third festival we've been in, that I actually got to watch it with the audience. So
nice.
That was such a treat,
right.
Actually.
That has to make a big difference for you to be able to sit there in the theater and get that real-time reaction.
Oh, definitely. It's really interesting because so the first in-person festival that we went to was New York Asian Film Festival, which it was such a treat because we got to screen it at Lincoln Center, and and it was really nice. And people asked some good questions, and afterwards people came up to me, and New Yorkers, they're much more outspoken, and I love the reactions. The reaction was big, and it was really nice. And there was a couple of I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there was a couple of plot twists in the end, sort of. And then I really got the reactions that I wanted, and it was such a treat to be sitting in the middle of the audience and getting such reactions. And then also we screened last Saturday at LA Asian Pacific Film Festival, and there was also I love the reactions and everything. It was really nice, and people sparked the debate and everything. So I was very happy about that.
Oh, that's great to hear, especially what you just said about sparking a debate. I think that's one of the most important things that you can create as a filmmaker, especially with this type of subject matter that's pretty important and pretty relevant to our times, like we were talking about, is if you can get people talking, I would imagine that gives you a sense of like, I've done my job at this point, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah. It's quite, the reason I wanted to make this was to start a conversation. I mean, we started this journey in 2015, started writing this in 2015. And that was before BLM was a big movement, and it was just starting. And unfortunately, because everything happened in 2020, this topic is really thrust into the center of attention, which that really is so unfortunate in a way. It is what I wanted to talk about. I think the only resolution of solving a problem is to start talking, acknowledge this problem and talking about it. I think that's really important. That's what I set out to do. But now it's in this, it's unfortunately so relevant, and people are talking about this, which is great. But at the same time, I'd rather this problem be over already. But
yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. This isn't something we should have to talk about and have conversations about and bring up as a debate. But yeah, you're right. It's hard to say that it's good timing to have your movie happen with all of this going on, because it's really, you can't really put it in that context. But at the same time, I feel like in a way you can, because like we talked about, it does create those opportunities for conversation. So it's
Totally.
definitely a mixed bag. I can understand how your emotions and thoughts are swirling about that a little bit. So thank you for
Totally.
touching on that. Now I want to go back to, you had mentioned your premiere was at the Bentonville Film Festival, which is run by Gina Davis. Now I understand that film festival is really focused on women as filmmakers. So what did that mean for you to have your premiere at that particular film festival?
Oh, I was very happy about that. She really promotes diversity, and she put her money where her mouth is, and it's more than we can say about a lot of other people. But I'm very proud to be a part of that, and part of a group of women who makes films. I think when I started, it just didn't feel like there's a lot of us, and it always felt like it's such a uphill battle, which I think it still is. But I think I'm seeing a lot more changes in the last couple years, and in terms of women versus men behind the camera, and also we are seeing a little more representation as Asian Americans. So I think that's also really encouraging. And but yeah, we're slowly grinding and fighting our way.
Oh, that's amazing. It's like we've talked about, it's all about creating these opportunities. And, Gina Davis took it upon herself to say, this is what I'm going to focus on. You took it upon yourself to say, this is what I'm going to focus on as a filmmaker. So I love seeing people take actions like that, because there's always conversations that are had. That's one thing that I do in particular, is have conversations with filmmakers, but then taking the next step and say, okay, what can we do to create change? So I'm very thankful that you're able to have those type of opportunities. So thank you for explaining that. Now,
I'm also grateful for creators and people like you who gives us a platform to do that. So that's really nice, and we're very thankful for that too.
Oh yeah, no, my pleasure. Thank you. Now, is there anything that we haven't touched on about the film in particular that you would really like to discuss?
No, I think you asked a lot of great questions.
Awesome. So any final thoughts then, just in general, before we wrap things up? Or what's next for the movie?
So we might have some news soon, hopefully, crossing our fingers. And it's been a long journey again, and for this film. So we're really happy. Hopefully it will find a home soon, so we can a wider audience can see it. And we make this film because we want more people to see it and to address the issue and everything. So we're really excited to see what's next as well.
Oh, that's great. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for people to get to see this movie, and again, in the way that we want to help create conversations about these topics. So thank you. Aimee, thank you for taking the time to speak with me during the festival. Please enjoy the rest of the week and the festival, and good luck with the movie.
Thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate it. So if you want, you can follow us on a shot through the wall film on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes, definitely. Everybody go check out the Facebook page. And then there's also, you have a website as well for the movie too, don't you? Or is it just the social media right now?
I think it's just social media right now. And then also you can follow my Instagram. My Instagram handle is the Aimee Long, TheAimeeLong. And I will post updates for the film as well.
Perfect. And you did say hopefully updates are coming soon. So everybody go follow, and then hopefully we can all, everybody can go out and watch this movie in the theaters. But Aimee, thank you again. And it's my pleasure having you on today.
Thank you so much, Mark. I'm so happy to be here.
This is Mark Morin and special guest Aimee Long talking about A Shot Through the Wall, an official selection of the 2021 Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival. For those watching on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe to the page, leave a comment, and share on social media. If you're listening to the podcast, please subscribe, share, and you can also leave a review on iTunes. Any way you can support the podcast is very much appreciated. You can find every podcast episode, and all of my movie reviews, including my review of A Shot Through the Wall, on 2ohsix.com. This is the 2ohsix Podcast. Thank you for your time. Be safe, and we'll see you next time.